I'm back. So, another story time because apparently that's just what I do, I guess, even though none of my stories are interesting. But, people voted for the first period horror story time, so I guess I gotta do that. So, pretty much. Actually, surprisingly, my first period, like when I initially got it, like the moment that I got it wasn't that much interesting. Like, it's just like I went to the bathroom and I was like, oh, there's blood there. And then I went to my sister and I was like, I got my period. And she was like, okay, and then gave me a pad, and that was about it. Like, a lot of people have like worse stories where they're like, oh my gosh, I'm dying. Or like, they didn't have a pad. I didn't have a pad, but I was at my house, so it was okay. Or they were like at school and all of a sudden there's blood. I think that's what happened to my sister. She was at school. But like, I was just, I didn't care that much. I still don't really. I was just like, oh, there's blood. Guess I gotta like tell my mom. But like my mom wasn't home. It was just me and my sister. So I just like went to my sister and I was just like, I got my period. She was like, oh, cool. And then she like showed me how to use a pad because I was 12 and stupid and didn't know how a pad worked. So, like, she handed me a pad and I was like, how does this work? And she had to like rip it off and tell me which side goes on the if you're a girl, you would probably understand. But because I was like, wait, which side goes on what side? Like, how do you know? And then she was just like, it's not that complicated, Emily, you're dumb. But anyways, so the initial point when I actually got the period wasn't that big of a deal. But that day was a horror story because it's not because of cramps or anything. I didn't start getting cramps till I was 14, I think. Yeah, 14. But when I was that day, so pretty much I got my period on a Saturday. The Friday before it, Catching Fire came out. If you know me, I'm like the biggest Hunger Games fan like in the world. Like, literally, I've read the books too many times, and the movie, like the first movie at least, I watched it twice. I was in theaters, which, if you know me, that's a big deal because I don't go to the movies because I have zero money. So like me going to the theaters more than once for the same movie is pretty like uncommon. So like I saw it twice in the theaters, and um, like the day that I got the movie, I watched it twice. Like the physical copy, like the DVD, I watched it twice, and then like for the rest of that week, for the rest of the month actually, I watched it every single day. Like I can quote it like to the point of background music with Hunger Games. So when Catching Fire came out, I didn't. My family like never really watched things like the day it comes out, but the day after we would probably watch it because like it was still like really crowded, but like it wasn't as crowded as the day of. So we were like, we're gonna, and I was like, not gonna let a period stop me. Like, your girl is still gonna watch her Catching Fire and gonna love it because she loved Catching Fire more than Hunger Games and when it comes to the books. And I loved Catching Fire more than I loved the Hunger Games when it came to the movie. But I just like, the first movie was like more iconic for me, I guess. But because of the story, pretty much, it was hard for me to like enjoy when I was watching it in theaters. But like, your girl loves that movie. But pretty much when I was, okay, that fan annoys me. No, I'm gonna turn the fan back on. I don't like reaching up because I'm short, so who cares? Anyways, so I was watching. So we went to the movies, and here's a story. When you use pads and tampons or literally anything, this is something I was not informed when I initially got my pad. You're supposed to change it during the day, apparently, like every few hours. You're supposed to like rip it out and replace it. I was not informed. So earlier that day, it was like 10 o'clock in the morning, and now we're at like 10 o'clock at night pretty much. Like, it's been like used for like 10 hours at least. Like, I know it was used for like a long time. I think it was 6 o'clock actually. So like from 10 to 6, that's still a lot of hours. I don't know how many hours it was, but it was more than the pad was supposed to be used for. So, I was not informed you're supposed to change those. So here's me, first day of my period, I'm stupid, but I'm gonna go watch that movie that I've been, like, planning to watch for, like, over a year, pretty much. Like, I've been obsessed. So, I was ready to go. And so, I didn't change my pad because no one had told me I was supposed to. So, I go to the movies. Here's something you need to learn about 12-year-old me. I had a fashion. I wore colored leggings. Sometimes I wore black, but they were too boring. So I wore colored leggings, and I wore a tight shirt. Sometimes I wore tight shirts all the time, but I would wear like a t-shirt like Abercrombie or like what like those type of shirts. And then I would wear an undershirt under and have like pretty much the undershirt go all the way down to my knees pretty much because I was short, because I was small, because I was 12 and like if I'm 4'8" now, imagine how small I was then. So pretty much. Oh, hello. Tori always accidentally walks in on all my story times. I don't know why. I feel like I have like this sensor on my body. Anyways, what was I talking about? Undershirts. So I would wear undershirts all the way down, like they were like all the way down. So like pretty much I was walking around this movie theaters with the biggest blood stain going through my colored leggings, going through the pad, going through the underwear, going through the colored leggings, all the way onto my colored. I still have, and it was my favorite undershirt, by the way, because it was mint green and it was cute. Cute. I thought it was cute, and it was like my favorite pair. It was my favorite pair of nothing. It was my favorite undershirt. The biggest blood stain all the way up on that undershirt. I didn't know, because you can't see your butt when you're walking around the movie theaters, but so because it was like the weekend it was coming out, it was like literally the day after, there was like this long line against the wall that I was on. And I was standing there reading Frindle. Because I brought the physical book Frindle to the movie theaters with me. Because I'm a nerd. But I was standing there with the... Why do you keep on coming in? Anyways, so I had the biggest blood stain on my butt. And my... I didn't know about this until later, the blood stain. So this happened while I had the biggest blood stain on my butt. And it was visible to literally everybody. My crush walks by with his best friend, Thomas, who I used to call Tumas. And I wasn't actually friends with him until the year after. But, well, actually, I wasn't friends with him until a few months after, not a year after, but, like, my crush and his best friend Thomas walking out of the theaters. They're starting to walk out. My family was with me. My entire family, besides my little sister, was with me, and they did not inform me I had a blood stain all up on my butt. They just let me walk around with it. I just love to mention that. But my crush and Thomas walk by, and they're walking by, and they see my blood stain probably, and then and so then they wave to me, and I wave back, and I'm like, hey, and then they walk up to me, my family was like, ooh, Emily, you had a boy, but they walk up to me, and they were like, wow, you're reading Frindle. And then they walk away, and the next day not the next day, that Monday I was targeted. They were like, Emily, you went to the movie theaters reading Frindle, brought a book with you, why are you so stupid? And I was just like, I'm a nerd, I'm sorry. Anyways, so that's they let me do that. No one informed me of my blood stain. They just let me walk around the theaters with it. Ugh. But anyways, so I was walking, so I went into the movies, and I have this intuition when I just had the intuition where I was just like, I cannot sit down on this seat. So the entire movie, I was so uncomfortable because I was sitting on my sneakers, I was sitting down. They were my favorite sneakers, by the way, because they were colorful and bright, and I don't know if you guys are getting this, but I had a colorful, bright aesthetic when I was 12. But, so, pretty much, I was just sitting, I don't know how I knew that I should do this, but I just knew that I needed to sit on my feet. So I sat down on my feet the entire movie. I was uncomfortable, but I was loving the movie. So then after the movie, I got up, and we took a few steps outside, and I looked down, and my shoes are covered in blood. I thought I was dying covered in blood. Like, it was a problem. So, I immediately go to the bathroom, and because I'm me, I was like, not I don't even worry about like the blood stain that's probably all over me. Instead, I worry about my shoes, and I just like took a bunch of paper towels, wet them, and like scrubbed onto my shoes right away. Like, I didn't care about anything else. So I scrubbed the blood away on my shoes. My entire family, like, I forget what their reactions were, but like they were having reactions. Then I walk outside and I was just like, and my mom was like, Emily, you got like a huge blood stain. Like everybody was like, Emily, you got a huge blood stain. And I was like, you wait till now to tell me? I had this when I walked in. So, my mom gave me her sweatshirt because my mom, nicest way possible. My mom's used to be really, really big. She's not that big anymore, but she used to be. So her sweatshirt went really far down and covered it all. So that's all that I needed. So that so pretty much, and so then I was able to like leave the movie theaters, go home, and then I got yelled at for not changing my pad, but no one told me I was supposed to. But then I eventually learned to change pads, and so then now I change pads because that's what you're supposed to do, guys. And that's about it. It's not really that interesting of a story, but it's what you guys voted for, so clickbait. So, anyways, I usually point to things for people to click to subscribe. So I don't know. I don't really have anything to point to today. Let's point to right here to subscribe, and I'll probably put a video down here. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.